we begin in the NFL as Tom Brady has announced his retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, the 7-time champion took to Instagram to announce his retirement. Take a listen.
Good morning, guys. I'll get to the point right away. I'm retiring for good. I know the process was a pretty big deal last time, so when I woke up this morning, I figured I'd just press record and let you guys know first. So I won't be long-winded. You only get one super emotional retirement essay, and I used mine up last year. So really thank you guys so much, to every single one of you, for supporting me, my family, my friends, my teammates, my competitors. I could go on forever. There's too many. Thank you guys for allowing me to live my absolute dream. I wouldn't change a thing. Love you all.
That was Tom Brady announcing his retirement yesterday morning on Instagram. And honestly, my initial reaction listening to Tom Brady announce his retirement, my initial reaction was, I believe that this was legit retirement from Tom Brady. I believe this announcement is real. And listening to that video and hearing how emotional Tom Brady got when he delivered that video, I believe that you got to take Tom Brady serious this time. Remember, it was just a year ago, February 1st, 2022, when Tom Brady announced that he was going to retire and he was done with football. And not even a month and a half later, Tom Brady decided to come back to play football. And when he announced it last year, a lot of people didn't believe him, including myself. Most people said, like, that doesn't sound sincere. You know, it seems like it's he got one more year in him to play. And it's just like, we just didn't believe it. We know how much Tom Brady loves the game of football. And honestly, when I look at Kobe, God rest his soul, as much as Kobe Bryant loved basketball, that's how much Tom Brady loves football. So obviously last year, when he announced that retirement, the same exact date, except it was a year later this time. But when he announced it last year, most people didn't believe him. And so this time it felt sincere. It felt raw. And it was very, very emotional for Tom Brady, as he had talked about retiring and thanked all the people in the sport that he was able to connect with. And, you know, I just think at this point for Tom Brady, I felt like last year he went through so many things on and off the field. We know off the field, him and Giselle, their marriage, they got a divorce. And, you know, when you are a family man, when you are a husband and you used to your family being in the household every day and being able to see your children and having that taken away from you, I know that's something that is very, very hard. And I'm not even a husband, and I'm not, you know, in that type of I'm not in that type of framework yet in my life, but I can only imagine what Tom Brady was going through last year. You know, like being there with, you know, with his football team, but going through the things he was going through off the field. They said he had lost weight, and I felt like it was just a tough year this past year for Tom Brady. And again, going through the divorce with his wife and not being able to see his children every day is something that he was going through. That was a very, very difficult time in his life. And so I thought last year with some of his play, I thought it was because of his struggles off the field. Now, last year, Tom Brady still was able to have a good season. 25 touchdowns last year, 9 interceptions, 4,694 passing yards, completing 67% of his passes. That's what he was able to do last year, but he wasn't consistent. He brought the Buccaneers back a lot last year in late game situations, but we didn't see that elite Tom Brady that we were accustomed to seeing for the duration of a football game. So I thought last year overall, that Buccaneers football team, they weren't very good. They were inconsistent overall as a football team. Offensively, they couldn't run the football at all, and they just struggled overall as an offense. And that defense wasn't the same defense last year than what it was in previous years with Tom Brady as their quarterback. And so I thought he struggled on the field, but there were times in late game situations where he was able to uplift this Buccaneers football team, and they won some games. But they got to the playoff game against the Cowboys on Monday Night Football, and they got blown out. And honestly, watching Tom Brady that night, seeing how he was competitive in the final 6-7 minutes of a blowout, it was obviously something that we didn't know at the time, but I think Tom Brady knew that this might be it, and that might be his last game. That's why you saw him be so competitive. I mean, he's competitive because he's Tom Brady, but he was very, very emotionally invested in a game where the Buccaneers were getting thoroughly outplayed by the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football in the wild card round of the playoffs. But when you look at what Tom Brady has been able to do in his career, I mean, the numbers are insane what Tom Brady has been able to do in his career. Obviously, a 7-time champion, 5-time Super Bowl NFL MVP, 3-time NFL MVP. He's the all-time leader in quarterback wins, passing yards, passing touchdowns. And I thought this was an interesting stat as well, because it kind of highlights how great Tom Brady was as a quarterback. This is the New England Patriots organization. This is the 20 years before Tom Brady. They won 47% of their games. They were 0-2 in the Super Bowl, 3 division titles, and 6 10-win seasons. That's before Tom Brady, 20 years before Tom Brady came into the NFL. This was years with Tom Brady. The Patriots, they won 74% of their games. 6 in the Super Bowl. They had 17 division titles, 8 in complete changed the Patriots. And he was a great quarterback for that franchise. And it's crazy because we talk about a lot when it comes to Tom Brady. I look at his career and I break his career up into 3 different parts. In the early part of his career, when many people called him a game manager, that's when you had defensive players like Richard Seymour, Teddy Bridgewater, or Teddy Bruschi on their team. And that was like the early part of his career. But when you look at the numbers during that part of his career, he was still great. This was Tom Brady in his 20s. He had 21,564 passing yards, 147 touchdown passes, 3 Super Bowl wins. You fast forward to him in his 30s, and this is when you had the likes of Randy Moss on his football team. Defensively, you had Rodney Harrison on the team, Rod Mikovich, the defensive lineman that was on the team. He's the analyst now for Get Up. And in his 30s, Tom Brady had 40,018 passing yards, 309 touchdown passes, 2 Super Bowl wins. You fast forward to Tom Brady in his 40s. This includes the 3 seasons that he played in Tampa. 27,632 passing yards, 193 touchdown passes, 2 Super Bowl wins. He was a Hall of Fame quarterback in each decade of his career. In his 20s, he was a Hall of Fame quarterback. In his 30s, he was a Hall of Fame quarterback. In his 40s, he was also a Hall of Fame quarterback. The man made the playoffs in 20 of his 21 seasons as a starter. So, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves how great Tom Brady was. And you look at what he was able to do in the Super Bowl compared to some other greats. Tom Brady in the Super Bowl was 7-3. He had 304 passing yards per game in the Super Bowl, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Now, the other quarterback, who many people believe is the GOAT, or, is in the conversation with Tom Brady as being the GOAT, is Joe Montana. Now, Joe Montana in the Super Bowl, he was 4-0, averaged 286 passing yards per game, 11 touchdowns, no interceptions. So, most people believe Brady and Montana are 1A and 1B when it comes to the GOAT conversation. But, I mean, it is undeniable how great Tom Brady was in big games. I mean, whenever the New England Patriots were trailing late in games, you always knew that Tom Brady had the ability to overcome any deficit and the Patriots could win the football game. Case in point, in the 2017 NFL Super Bowl, it was the Patriots versus the Falcons. It's Brady versus Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons, they go up 28-3 over Brady and the Patriots. The entire city of Atlanta is going crazy. I mean, I'm here in Cincinnati, and I'll never forget, I was at Park Place Restaurant in Forest Park. I had a Super Bowl party that year, and I'm thinking like, man, the way the Falcons are playing, they're about to win the Super Bowl. I'm about to go down to Atlanta and have some fun. It's going to be fun down there in the city of Atlanta. T.I., Jermaine Dupri, I mean, Bow Wow. I mean, the list goes on and on how many celebrities are down there and rappers and athletes down there. I was like, man, I'm about to go down to Atlanta and have some fun. It's 28-3. And Tom Brady overcame a 28-3 deficit and beat Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons. That was the year when Matt Ryan won his one and only NFL MVP. They had Kyle Shanahan on that coaching staff. They were coached by Dan Quinn, and Tom Brady put on a sensational performance in the second half of that Super Bowl. That probably was my most memorable moment of Tom Brady. He got so many, but that's the one that really, really, really sticks out above everything else. That 28-3 deficit, the way he was able to come back and will his football team in the second half of that game, it was nothing short of sensational by Tom Brady. Then that one year where they almost went undefeated with Randy Moss, they came up short in the Super Bowl. So Tom Brady did lose to Eli Manning twice in the Super Bowl. Other than that, Tom Brady could have won 9 Super Bowls. But shout out to Tom Brady on an amazing, amazing career. I think this time Tom Brady will remain retired. We heard a lot of rumors about the possibility of Brady going and playing with the Las Vegas Raiders, or possibly going out west and going home and playing with the San Francisco 49ers. But I believe that Tom Brady wanted to let it be known early in his offseason that he doesn't no longer want to play. And I think that we really, really underestimated what he was going through last year during the season and stuff like that. And I think now, if you're Tom Brady, it's time for Tom Brady to go spend time with his kids. And it's time for Tom Brady to go and drink a beer at the bar. 1 or 2 beers, pick up some weight. He has a big time contract from Fox to still be around football. So I think those are the things that Tom Brady has to look forward to next. But it's time for Tom Brady to definitely go into that next phase of life. And a lot of times for athletes, it's hard. It's hard for athletes to retire and think about what's next. This is a very, very, very hard thing to do for athletes. So that's the next step for Tom Brady. But Tom Brady was never as talented as Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes, but Tom Brady, his leadership was the best I've ever seen. He's the greatest leader in NFL history. And players, they want to run through a brick wall for Tom Brady because Tom Brady, he motivates you. His commitment to greatness is like no other. It was all about winning Super Bowls for TB12. That's what it was all about. Seriously. Like, and again, the impact that he's had on teammates and coaches and in that Patriots organization alongside Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft. He goes to Tampa Bay and he changes that culture down there in Tampa Bay with Bruce Arians and the Buccaneers and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. They love playing for Tom Brady. And the last 3 years, the only reason why we've been talking about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is because of Tom Brady. So, again, the greatest leader in NFL history retires and calls it a career. So, shout out to Tom Brady and what he's going to do next. Looking forward to seeing him in the booth with Fox. Everybody go and follow Wise Guys on Twitter at WiseGuys_H. Also on Facebook, Wise Guys. And be sure to follow Wise Guys on Instagram at These Guys Know Sports. Coming out the break, I'm going to discuss the Denver Broncos hiring Sean Payton as their new head coach. I'll be right back.